Lesson 85, Stem and Leaf Plots. All right, so when we gather data, sometimes we need a way to display the data so that it can be analyzed quickly. And we need a way to write it down quickly too. So we are given this list of scores from students. And there's 30 scores in this classroom on this final exam. And we are told what all the scores are. Well, it's a whole bunch of scores, and I really don't want to write that many scores down. So how can I, as the teacher or the person who's analyzing the data, write this quickly? We can use something called a stem and a leaf plot. I'm going to get a smaller pen here. All right, so stem and leaf plot is just a way to summarize the information that you have. And I'm going to draw a little line here and separate. The stem, in this case, because we're talking about scores and we have two-digit numbers, the stem is going to be my tens place. And my scores in this classroom, they range anywhere from 50-something, I've got 60, 70. Let me give it a little bit more room in between these. So 50, 60, 70s, I've got 80s, and I've got 90s, right? So my scores in this class are crazy. They're off the chart. I have everything from 56 to a 96. So I go through my scores and I'm writing them down. And every time I see a 50, I'm going to put the ones place under my leaf. So I see a 56 and I see a 58, right? Then I see a 62 and I see a 65 and a 69. And I see a 70, and I see a couple 74s, and I see a couple 75s, and I see an 80. I see a couple 81s, and I see an 82, and an 83, and an 85, and an 86, and a couple 87s, and a couple 88s, and an 89. And then I see a 90 and a 91 and a 92 and a 94 and a couple 95s and a couple 96s. That's a lot faster than I could have written all those down if I had to write the tens place with them as well. Let me tell you. But now all my data is organized and it's in numeric order. And I kind of skipped that step on you guys, but if you do this in numeric order the first time when you write it down, it's a whole lot easier the second time. And in our 85.1, I'll show you how to do that quickly. So from this information, I can add all these up, and I can easily show you how to do the math on let's get the mean first. So we have 250 scores here. So 50 times 2, that's going to be 100, right? So 100 plus, and then that's a 6 and an 8, that's going to be 14. All right, and so I have 60 times 3, that's 180. Plus 7 and a 9, that's going to be 16. Now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 70, that's 350. Plus 18. And then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 12 times 80. So that's going to be 960. Plus, and I'll add all these up right quick. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 12. That's 18. 18 plus 14. Plus 16. Plus 9. It's 57. All right, and then now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 90, that's 720, plus, all right, that's 12, that's 22, that's 26, 28, 29. Now I just add these numbers up. Right, so 100 plus 14 plus 180 plus 16 plus 350 plus 18 plus 960 plus 57 plus 720 plus 29. That's going to be 2,444. All right, that's a lot quicker than adding each individual number or typing each individual number into the calculator. You take the base times the number that you have over here, and you get your big score, and then you add these little numbers up, your ones place, and that's this score right here. And then you just add them together, and then you get your total. It's a lot faster. So we know we have 30 scores, so we can divide that by 30, and we get a mean, or an average, same thing, of 81.47 when we plug that in the calculator. So there's our mean, right? Our mode, what's our mode? Well, our mode is anything that's used the most. So in this case, we have pairs that I see being used. So those are our modes. We have 74, 75, 81, 87, 88, 95, and 96. And we were able to pull those out quickly because we could see the ones places right next to each other for each group of tens place, right? Very quickly pulled out our mode. We have 7 modes. I now need to find our mean. We have 30 numbers, so our mean, not our mean, hello, median. I get those. I know what they are, but I call them by each other's name. Our median is going to be the middle number. We have 30 numbers. It's an even number. Half of 30 is 15. So our median is going to be between the 15th and the 16th number. And in this case, that's going to be between 83 and 85, right in here. So 83 plus 85 divided by 2 is going to equal 84. That's our median. And our range is pretty easy. We just take the highest number, which is 96, subtract the lowest number, which is 56, and that equals 40. That's our range. Okay? So the stem and leaf plot just gives us another way to quickly analyze a big group of numbers. It breaks it down. It groups them by tens, or whatever this number is here. You could have, this could be a 2-digit number, and we'll do that in another problem. But your ones are always here, and it helps you group your ones together and count your information and analyze what you have quicker and easier without having to go through the list of numbers each time you want to do the mode and the median and the range. It's just a little bit faster. All right, it does take a little time set up on the front end, but as you get good at it, it can be a lot easier. Okay, so let's clear the page and let's do 85.1. All right. So in 85.1, Mark went to the driving range to test out a new golf club that he got from his brother Frank for Christmas. He hit 20 balls, and the distances the balls traveled were measured in yards as follows. So I'm going to go ahead and set up my stem and my leaf, and I'm going to quickly scan the list of the distances, and I'm going to note my highest distance, which is, or my smallest distance, which in the 140s range, and my highest distance, or my longest distance, looks like it's in the 180 range. So 150, 160, 170, 180 looks like what my distances were. So I'm just going to go through my distances and write in the the ones place for each category. So I had 150, I had 165, I had 176, I had 148, I had 181, I had 173, 162, 175, I had 174, I had 167, I had 168, 169, 170, 172, 173, 182, 184, 147, 180, and 141. All right, easy peasy. That was quick. I wrote down all my scores really quickly. Almost as quickly as I could say them. So that's not too shabby, right? So I end up with this stem and leaf plot here, and what I need to see, or the question that it asks me is, after you create a stem and leaf plot, find in which 10-yard stem the most golf balls landed. So it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is the most, because the next most is 5. So from 170 to 179 is where we had the most golf balls to land with this new golf club. That's the answer to 85.1. And we did that just by making a quick stem and leaf plot it's like it treats this like a bar graph almost. If you were to write each one of these numbers in a box on a sheet of graph paper, it would be really easy to treat this like a bar chart. In fact, we're going to talk about that in just a moment. Let's go ahead and do 85.2 first. So we need to find the range, the median, the mode, and the mean of the data in this stem and leaf plot. So here's our stem and leaf. Ooh, that's a really, really, really bad line. Let's see if I can draw a better line than that. There we go. And here's our leaf. So we have some 84s, 85s, 86s, and some 87s. Okay, and we have 6, 2 8s, and a 9. And then we have a 2, 2 3s, and a 4. And then we have 2 2s, and a 3, and a 5, and a 7. And then we have 2 3s and 2 6s. All right, there's our data. We know what we have. So we have scores that range anywhere from 846 to 876. So the range is 876 minus 846, so that equals 30, right? This set of numbers has an odd number of members. It has 17. So the middle number is going to be number 9. We have 4, 4. This is 9. So 862 is our median, because it's the middle number. All right, our mode is whatever numbers are used the most. And in this case, we have 848, 853, 862, 873, and 876. So that's our modes: 848, 853, 862, 873, and 876. All right, and then our mean is, we're just going to simply add these up. So we're going to do this over here. We have 840, right? So 840 times 4, that's 3360, plus 6 plus 8 plus 8 plus 9 is 31. And then we have 85 times 4, or I'm sorry, 850 times 4 plus 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or 12. We have 12 there. So it's 3,412, and this would be 3391. So let's just write that, 3391. All right, 860 times 5 plus 4, 7, 12, 19. That's 43, 19. And then we have 870 times 4 plus 18. That's 3498. All right, so we just add these four numbers together. 3498 plus 4319 plus 3412 plus 3391 equals. Let's see if I got that right. And I did. The total is 14,620. All right, so that's just a quicker way to do your math. Multiply this by 10, because this is in the 10 spot. And then multiply that times the number you have here, and then add this number. Easy peasy. Then you add all your results together. And that's a lot faster than adding and typing in each individual number. So if we take that number and we divide it by 17, which is the total number of scores we have, we get a mean of 860. All right. All right, and that's all we have for stem and leaf. You can see how effective they are, how much faster they are when you want to do some calculations or you want to analyze some data. So let's clear this page and let's move on to histograms. Actually, I think I have histograms right down here. All right, so yes, right here you can see the test data that we talked about in our first introduction to stem and leaf. This is all the scores that we had for that class, right? We've taken them and we've arranged them just like the stem and leaf, where we have the 50 here, but then we have the 8 and the 6 here. It kind of looks like a bar chart, doesn't it? That's also known as a histogram, where each one is counted individually, right, and put within a range. So everything between 50 and 60, so it'd be 50 to 59, is put in this box. It's counted. We have 2 of those scores. Everything between 60 and 69, we have 3 of those. Everything between 70 and 79, we have 5 of those. And you can see that if you read it on the left, it corresponds to the numerical marking or indicator on the left of the paper. So you can see how many grades were in that range just by kind of glancing across the top. So you have 12 that were in the 80 to 89 range. So our mode when reading a chart like this is you look for the range that has the most responses in it instead of numbers that have the same usage or the most usage. So our mode for this chart, for these test scores, our mode is from 80 to 89. That was the majority of the grades was from 80 to 89 in this class. All right, so given that, we are going to look at, let me get rid of that. We're going to look at this histogram here. What we have here is a chart, and it talks about the number of cars and the speed of cars. And it's just like, you know, maybe it was a speed trap or something, I don't know. Or maybe it was those little things that you go over on the road that, you know, you bump and it records your speed. This is the speeds of 40 cars. So we have 40 cars here. All right. as they pass the checkpoint are shown in the frequency distribution table, or the histogram, below, or right here. How many cars had a speed greater than or equal to 25 miles per hour and less than 30? So that would be from 25 to 29, right? If we look at the top, we go over to the left, we see that that's 4. So the answer to A is 4 cars that were between 25 and less than 30. That were at least 25 and less than 30. B says, what was the mode interval? Well, all you have to do for the mode is look and see where the most cars were, and that's the tallest bar, and that's 11. Since 11 cars were between 35 and 39. So 11 between 35 to 39, right? Or we could say 40. We can just say 40 right here. 35 to 40. And then it asks us what percent of cars drove at a speed less than 40 miles per hour. Okay, well, this is 35 to 39. So there's 11 here. This is less than that. There's 10 here. And there's 4 here. So we just add all these up. 11 plus 10 plus 4. That's going to be 25 cars. So we know we had 40 cars total, right? So we just set that up in our percentage. 25 out of 40. We don't know what that percentage is, but it's over 100 because that's how you set up a percent. 25 times 100, that's just going to be 2500 equals 40x. And then we just divide. And first thing you can do is you can reduce both sides by 10, which will make that division just a little bit easier. Then we'll divide both sides by 4. And that will be 62.5 equals the percentage. So that 62.5% of cars drove less than 40 miles an hour. So that's how you would use the data of a histogram or a bar chart to find percent. You've got to pay attention to what it's asking you. So this would be C right here. And that's all we have for lesson 85. Just kind of how to create a stem and leaf chart. Maybe how to convert that into a histogram, and then how to read that histogram or that bar chart. That's all we have. I will see you guys in lesson 86.